Welcome to Excuses, the podcast that peels back the layers of a small town life, uncovering the hidden horrors lurking just beneath the surface of Joyceville, North Carolina. From the tale of a quaint little diner to the chilling corporate secrets of Blind Corp, this isn't your ordinary post-apocalyptic survival story. No, this is something much darker, much weirder, much funnier, perhaps. It's all from the perspective of the only survivor. You'll dive into a quirky, fragmented recollection of chaos and growing dread that led to Joyceville's downfall. Oh, and a little bit of warning before we get started. Excuse Us contains mature content intended for a mature audience. Strong language, and let's just say, a rather twisted sense of humor is intended. Listener discretion is definitely advised.
This whole thing's a damn puzzle. Doris, Ms. D spins stories, but half of it doesn't add up. It feels every time we ask for the truth, she hands us another Sarah Koenig-style serial episode with just more riddles and bullshit.
It's like she wants to tell us everything, but she's holding back just enough to keep us on a leash. The way she talks about the diner staff is almost too perfect, too picturesque, like she's building characters for some twisted play or drama. The waitress, the cook, the busboy, I don't know, Thomas, something's
Let's
off.
start with Jimmy Sissling Jim Cooks. The guy's a legend, right? Fought off zombies with a cast iron skillet in the Marines, survived chemical warfare, announced flipping burgers and making omelets at a small town diner. That does not scream red flag to you, Doris?
Oh, absolutely. She talks about him like he's some war hero, and sure, maybe he is. But how does a guy with his history end up in a place like the super awesome diner? Did it fall off that far? Or is there something deeper that she's not telling us about his connection to Blind Corp?
Exactly. And then Sandy Thompson, waitress number one, she's barely mentioned, talks about some flippin' boyfriend. And when Dee does talk about her, she makes sound Sandy like with this quiet, diligent style worker that was just too focused on that breakup. But something doesn't sit right. Sandy's records are squeaky clean, almost too clean. She just fades into obscurity, just another background character, and there's got to be more to her. Everyone else in the diner has this quirk, but Sandy, it's all about the breakup. It doesn't quite add up, Doris.
See, Thomas, that's what bothers me the most. Miss D makes everyone sound larger than life, except for Sandy. Maybe because she knew too much. Maybe she was keeping her head down for a reason, and now she's conveniently dead, along with the rest of them. And what about Luna McFlutternutter? The cap-dog lady turned investigator. She was always a little eccentric and kooky dough, from what Miss Dees told us, but suddenly becomes this kind of amateur sleuth or detective, and she found her neighbor dead, connected to Blind Corp. What a coincidence. And now she's wrapped up in this whole mess. Why would a diner waitress get involved in something like that? Out of the kindness of her own heart? It makes no sense.
Not just that, but Miss D makes Luna sound like a savant. Someone who could put together pieces like Sherlock Holmes. No one else could. But here's what's strange. Luna's death. D hasn't said a word about it. It's like She is tiptoeing around Luna's death, even though she's made it clear the hall staff is dead.
We don't even know how she died. She's just gone. Every time we ask, it dodges the question. Either Miss D, too traumatized to face it, or she's covering something up. We still have no fucking clue why someone like Luna, a woman with a knack of solving puzzles, was working at a diner of all places.
That's the thing, Taurus.
And that brings us to the nephew, Dylan, the bus boy girl. Barely old enough to drink, and what we gather so far, they was a quiet one, the kid who kept to themselves. But Miss D, she talks about them like they were the heart of the place, endearing everyone, always cleaning up, keeping up, having this troublesome past at home. Her sister, there's almost no mention of her sister. We gotta dig into that. Also, the patrons that were there, and we gotta look at those blind Corp records. I want to know everything regarding to Dylan. They are a ghost.
Every single one of them is either larger than life or a shadow. Sizzling Jim, the war hero, Chef, Luna, the detective with a nose for conspiracies, Samvi, the invisible waitress with a broken heart, and Dylan, the ghost kid. None of them fit in a normal story. None of them seem like they'd end up at a greasy diner off the side of the road, sliding hash browns unless something bigger was pulling the strings.
Blind Corp. We know they got their hands in all over Joyceville. That's clear to me and you, Thomas. We are very well aware of the dossier, but they weren't just experimenting on the town. What if the diner staff, Miss D included, was part of it? Whether they knew it or not, what if they are all pawns in some larger, out-of-sight experiment? The HOC initiative, whatever that is. We need to figure out what that is.
Right. And that could explain why Miss D is so damn evasive. She's covering something bigger, something tied to Blind Corp for sure. But what? Here's the question. Is she protecting herself, or is she just scared? And why would she still be alive if everyone else is dead? Doris, I think we're missing a piece. There's a connection between these people we haven't found yet, and the staff, Blind Corp, and this HOC initiative. It's all tied together. Until we know what the connection is, we can't trust a word of what Miss D might say.
So what do? We keep pressing her. She's slippery, but we've got to get her to slip up. We got to get enough pieces to rattle her, to get a full story. We're close, Thomas. We're so goddamn fucking close. But something tells me when we finally get the truth, it's not gonna be pretty.
No, it's gonna be ugly as hell, but we'll get there. And when we do, Miss D won't be able to hide behind her stories anymore. She's gonna be able to tell us exactly how she disabled this thermonuclear weapon established by former staff of the elite forces drawn exclusively for this task from Blind Corp. We know there were officers there. We know there was a whole squad, which we haven't even touched yet, and she is clearly omitting just focus on her day-to-day life with her staff.
Introducing Dylan, a remarkable and resilient individual in their formative years, standing at the intersection of self-discovery, family turmoil, and personal passions. At the age of 17, Dylan's journey has been a whirlwind of emotions, shaped by their struggle with gender dysphoria and the tumultuous divorce of their parents. Amidst these challenges, Dylan finds solace and a sense of purpose as a busboy at the super awesome diner, a place where their aunt, Miss D, warmly welcomes them per her request. Dylan's story is one of inner strength and a quest for identity. Gender dysphoria has played a significant role in their life as they navigate the complexities of understanding and accepting their true self. It is a journey marked by self-reflection, personal growth, and a tenacious spirit that refuses to be confined by societal norms. Dylan finds solace in the acceptance and support they receive from their aunt and the diverse community that surrounds the super awesome diner. Working at the diner not only provides Dylan with a sense of stability and financial independence, but it also allows them to be a part of a community that embraces individuality and celebrates diversity. As a busboy, they diligently carry out their responsibilities, ensuring the tables are clean, the glasses are sparkling, and the ambiance is inviting. Through their work, they contribute to the vibrant atmosphere that welcomes patrons and makes them feel at home. Today, we're diving into a different kind of story, one that's been simmering beneath the surface for a while. One that speaks to identity, rebellion, and what it means to find a place for yourself in a world that keeps trying to put you into neat little boxes. Dylan's always been different. Not in a bad way, no, but just their person, you know? Even when they were little, they didn't take to labels, never liked being called one thing or another. I remember Dylan coming up to me once. They must have been, I don't know, 8? Maybe? They looked me dead in the eye and said, "I'm not like the others, Aunt D, and I don't want to be." I didn't know what that meant back then, but now it makes sense. Dylan's journey is a complicated one. They're 17, right on the edge of adulthood, but already their path has been a rocky one. It's a story marked by family turmoil, with the added weight of gender dysphoria, the feeling that the body they were born into just doesn't fit. And if that wasn't enough, their parents' divorce, well, it wasn't just a clean break. It was ugly, messy, the kind of split that leaves scars, emotional wounds that fester. I took a deep breath, my tone thick with the weight of it all. It was hard on Dylan, real hard. Their mom and dad, they were always yelling, always fighting. And it wasn't about Dylan, but it's never really not about the kids, is it? Kids take that stuff in. Dylan did, for sure. That's when I saw it, the change. They stopped talking as much, started spending more time in their room. Watching that, what's it called? That anime stuff. At first, I didn't get it. All the bright colors, the big eyes. But for Dylan, it was like a lifeline. Dylan found comfort in worlds that weren't this one. Anime became their escape. The colorful, complex characters offered a solace they couldn't find in real life, where things were too gray, too messy. In the animated world, things made sense.
When you're watching Neon Genesis Evangelion for the 5th time, it's like you're not here. All the stuff in your head, all the noise, it just goes quiet. The world's falling apart in the show, but you're in control just by getting it.
But it wasn't just anime. Dylan had other escapes too. Old records. There was something about the crackle of a vinyl spinning under the needle, something comforting in its imperfection. It was like listening to the past, like there were people out there, long before them, who understood what it felt like to just exist and try to get through the day. Dylan's voice, usually calm, cracks a little on that last part, like the weight of just making it through is heavier than they let on.
You understand something, and that means something. It's not even about the lyrics sometimes. It's the crackle, you know? That sound before the music even starts. It's like being in a different time with people who know what it's like to just keep going. Just making it through. That's what I need.
Dylan's voice, usually calm, cracks a little on that last part, Like the weight of just making it through is heavier than they let on. But even with these outlets, these ways to escape, there was a fire inside Dylan, a restless energy that wouldn't settle, no matter how many anime episodes or vinyl records they consumed. That energy needed to go somewhere. And it did. I found out later, but Dylan, they started acting out. You wouldn't know it to look at him, but Dylan had this streak. A wild side, if you will. They called it civil vandalism. Not like regular tagging, you know? Dylan had a purpose, said it was a way to speak to the world, to make them listen. Dylan's acts weren't random. Every spray of paint had a message, a meaning. Their targets were specific. An old, crumbling factory covered in corporate slogans became a canvas. Their art wasn't about destruction. It was rebellion. It was a statement.
It's not just about breaking stuff, it's about making people look. They don't want to see what's wrong with the world, but when you tag something, they can't ignore it. They have to face it.
But behind the rebellion, behind the bold defiance, there was something more. Dylan was still figuring themselves out, still navigating their gender identity in a world that seemed to have a label for everything. But Dylan didn't want to be labeled. They didn't fit into those boxes.
People want to put you in these categories. Boy, girl, normal, not normal. But I don't fit in any of them. Why should I? Why should any of us?
And then there was the divorce. Watching their parents, two people who were supposed to love each other, tear themselves apart left a mark on Dylan. It made them question everything.
If they couldn't make it work, why should anyone? Why should I even try?
But even as the world around them fell apart, Dylan wasn't about to break. They were too stubborn, too alive for that. Their acts of defiance, their art, their existence was all part of a larger story. One of survival. Of creating a place for themselves in a world that didn't always seem to have room for people like Dylan. Dylan's not done yet. I know that much. They're gonna make sure people remember them. One way or another. And maybe, just maybe, they will create that world. A world where others don't have to fight so hard just to be seen. Because that's Dylan's story. It's about survival, yes, but more than that, it's about being visible. This episode is made possible by listeners like you. Visit our website at lifedesign.net/excuse us.
For support or additional information, please visit our website or Patreon page at patreon.com/rodpoolart.
Tonight's production of Excuse Us, a mystery drama with delightful undertones of humor and eldritch horror,
was produced by Rebecca Lake Pool and Rodrigo Pool. Written and directed and performed by Rodrigo Pool in association with R&R Aside Audio Theater.
Music and sound effects by Epidemic Sound. Some other sound effects were recorded live on set. Voice modulation by 11 Labs. If you're enjoying this production, please make sure to review or subscribe to our show wherever you listen to your podcast.
Check out our Patreon page for bonus content.
Until next time, this
is Rodrigo Pool saying thank you very much for listening.
Well, that concludes another exasperating fucking afternoon of just rambling. Just curious, Miss D. Do you know what the Hawk Initiative was about? Just, out of the fucking blue.
Of course I do. HUC stands for Human Augmentation and Weaponization Kinetics. It is a secret project under Blind Corp focused on experimenting with human genetics, enhancing them to create the ultimate soldier. The initiative aims to push the boundaries of human capabilities, strength, speed, intelligence by manipulating their DNA. The weaponization kinetics portion involves turning these augmented individuals into living weapons, capable of inhumane feats. However, the side effects were really fucking awful. These experiments were dangerous, uncontrollable mutations leading to the ultimate death and disappearance of several test subjects, including scientists like Adolf Front Russitz, would try to expose the truth behind the initiative. I fucking know all about hawk Jews. Are you blind? Jesus Christ.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you
Holy
fucking
shit.
kidding me?
Did you get any of that? Holy fuck. How the fuck do you know all this? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening?
How do I fucking know this? How do you think I fucking know this? Now calm your tits. How do you ask the fucking right questions, you dumb fucking shit? My sister. She has the exact same name, so sometimes shit would get forwarded to me, and I would fucking read it. And she also discussed all the inner workings of it. I fucking knew about the operatives coming in. I knew what was in hawk Jews. I fucking knew everything, you dumb piece of fucking shit. Now, can I get a proper hot shower? Have you figured that shit out yet, you dumb son of a fucking bitch?